Welcome to
The Venus Files.
I'm Stephanie.
I'm Carmen.
I'm Talia.
And we're back.
Yes.
Season 2.
Yes.
I really appreciate last month's conversation.
I know.
Yeah.
Thank you, Talia.
Well, yeah, no, thank y'all for just providing the platform to even speak on it.
Yes,
You know?
absolutely.
So,
And like I said during that last video, we need to do a follow-up too, and just like over time see how things go, because it's not the end of the story. It's not the end of the story
To
for
be
it.
continued.
So here we are.
Yes.
Yes.
So this month is April.
Okay.
Yes. And we're
Spring
back-
colors.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Yes.
we're back with another topic of women's health.
What you got?
Ooh.
So this month is Infertility Awareness Month, hence the color orange.
Yes.
And want to feel bright and lively because it is a heavy topic.
Truly.
Yes.
A heavy topic.
It is.
So we wanted to kick off National Infertility Awareness Week by sharing some of, well, I guess my personal story, and we'll have some input from Miss Talia
Me again.
as well.
Listen, I am here to support the team.
Yes.
Okay? But you know what I've noticed, this is the only 2 cents that I have, is that more and more you're hearing how you were saying this is a heavy topic. We're hearing more about it.
Yes.
People are talking about their stories
Yes.
more. And I think that what was happening as it relates to either infertility or miscarriages in the past is that people were just living through it silently
Right.
and keeping it to themselves.
Right.
So recently, over the past couple years, I've seen this motion of people just being like, hey,
Yeah.
this happened to me.
Right.
Or hey, this is happening to me.
Yeah.
And so
Right.
I appreciate that, just
Yes.
to let people know that you're not alone.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we're having this conversation because
Absolutely.
it's necessary.
It is.
Because who wants to feel alone?
Right.
Ooh.
I think the statistics now are like, what, 1 in 4?
Yes. It used to be 1 in 8, and now it's 1 in 4.
Wait, 1 in 4 what?
1 in 4
Couples.
women or
Yeah,
couples.
couples.
Yeah, I guess you should say it that way.
Yeah.
Couples experience that at
One-
some point
At
before
some
they're
point.
At
before
some
they're
point.
able to
Wow.
actually and fact check us, please.
Please,
Because we would love
please
to be
get
corrected.
us together.
Yes. even in this room.
Yeah.
Yes.
7.
Yeah.
Two out of 3.
Yeah.
So it's a lot more common than what we think. And the thing
Yeah.
is that we just want to provide really just an open, like I said, open platform for people to be able to talk about it so you don't feel so alone. Because that's one thing that you kind of just sink
Yes.
into your own dark spaces when
Yes.
you're dealing with things like this, because you just don't know if you'll ever have that happy ending.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And that's really what it becomes.
Yes.
Is will I have a happy ending? Because you cannot predict it and you cannot control it.
Because we're not
Right.
God.
Yeah.
We're not God.
And we don't have a crystal ball too.
That's what I had to learn. We are not in control.
Yeah.
Darn.
Yeah.
You know, and he already knows the ending.
Yes.
Because quite frankly, we're sitting here, and honestly, 33 years ago, we weren't. So we
Right.
got here.
But he knew that like nothing takes him by surprise.
Right.
So he already knew about this moment, this journey for each and every one of us. So he's not surprised by the situation, and he sees far greater, like you said, than what we see. We're just dealing with it right now, or you know, currently in that situation. So you're right
And
about
who's to
that.
say that you didn't go through this for this moment?
Right.
True.
Because maybe Venus Files needed this, and so you needed to go through that to provide it to the people. So let's provide it to the people.
Yeah. I mean, I've actually had a couple of those moments where I'm like, oh, okay, this is why I went through it.
Wow. So what did you
know.
go through?
Good segue, ma'am.
I want to know. The people want to know.
Because I will stall as long as possible.
We want to know.
Right.
So pretty much, I have been pregnant 3 times, but only 1 live birth.
Okay.
So of course, kind of that was alluded into in other videos where you think you do everything the right way. You find your guy, you get married, and then you think, oh well, when we're ready, because we think we have a choice.
Ooh, you just said a word.
When we're ready, we'll have a baby,
Yeah.
right? So my story, which is, I think like some people, it's just that, you know, I had no problem getting pregnant. I just couldn't keep the pregnancy.
Oh, okay.
So, like I said, I've been pregnant 3 times, and I won't go into like the specifics, but I may tell you that I've lost 2 years of my life just trying to conceive. Because at one point, my husband and I weren't sure if we wanted kids. But then once I wanted them, I wanted them. I mean, your girl was about to turn 30, you know, and I was just thinking, oh, okay, we'll have a kid, boom, 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 and it'll be a thing. But you don't think about, I'm going to spend the next 2 years trying to have a child.
Wow.
And then not knowing if you're going to have your happy ending. you know? So for me, I got pregnant, and then everything seemed like it was going good. You know, I had a positive pregnancy test. We're excited. You know, we didn't tell anyone, but people knew that I wasn't drinking.
So
And that's not me, because
so then we knew.
Because
something's up.
because
that's
if
how
I'm
I
not
can
having-
always tell with my friends.
Yeah.
That's how I always know.
Yes.
Oh, you want some water? Okay. Okay, sis.
So then I'm like, I'm sick. Oh, I'm watching my figure, but then you're glowing, and like this, it's like the textbook fairy tale thing. You know, you're excited. And then I had my first appointment, and then I guess I don't know if I want to shorten the story or not, but I had my first appointment, and then the doc goes, the heartbeat is low, and I'm like, okay. I don't know what that means. I'm like, okay, so, but there is something there. I'm confirmed pregnant. And they said, well, you know, the heartbeat, I want to say was like 90.
Okay.
And the doc said, well, this is the thing. Either you're earlier than what you thought you were, or this may not be a successful pregnancy. And I'm thinking, I mean, I'm definitely not earlier than what we thought, because I know I'm like,
You know the calendar.
oh yeah, for sure. And I'm like, I should be about 7 weeks pregnant. It should be a strong heartbeat over 120.
Is it? Okay.
120.
I was going to ask you.
Okay,
Is it like a
over
normal
120.
120, 130.
So anything definitely under 100 is alarming. So the doc was like, well, you know, we don't know if it's just starting, if the heartbeat is just starting, or if it's dying. And she kind of told me then, but I was just like, oh, okay, you know, everything's fine. I'm just being optimistic. Everything's fine. There was a heartbeat. There was a little teddygram on there. And then we take the pictures, and then me not trying to overthink it, we go home. I thought then, maybe looking back, that maybe I should have had more ultrasounds to kind of verify, but then I guess it wouldn't have changed anything. That's me trying to be a control freak. But you know,
Then you just would have known earlier.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So anywho, get to about 10 weeks pregnant, and I start spotting, and of course everybody's like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. What color is the flow? I'm trying to be correct. I'm like, oh, it's just brown. It's just a little, oh, you're fine. It's not an active bleeding. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. I wore panty liners like every day, and then me just realizing that it was just a spotting. So nobody was concerned. My doctor wasn't concerned. Nobody was concerned. I said, oh, you'll probably do that until you're 12 weeks. I get to be 12 weeks pregnant, and I'm still kind of looking fluffy. Never had morning sickness, which, you know, some people have it / don't have it, you know, but get to be 12 weeks pregnant. I'm going in for my appointment, and then they just hit me with, we can't find a heartbeat.
At the appointment.
At the appointment.
That's how you found out.
As a matter of fact, there's no baby.
Oh.
Yes.
What do you mean? Like,
yeah. And I don't think I ever shared that with y'all. So pretty much, I had what is called a blighted ovum, which is something I've never heard of. And it's pretty much where your baby passes away, because it was a little teddygram on there.
Yeah.
And they measured it and everything, and the heartbeat was there. But they saw my sac, but there was no baby in it. So that means that my body reabsorbed it.
Wow.
And my body just didn't expel it. So my baby was in fact dying, because my sac was measuring about 9 weeks. So it died 2 weeks after my appointment. And then it sat there for so long, and my cervix was still very closed. Very closed. And so it sat there for so long that my body just reabsorbed it, and my body just still thought I was pregnant. So the doctor kind of gave me two options. He said, okay, you can either have a DNC, or you can just wait for it to start on its own. Because at this point, they're doing vaginal assessments. They're like all the things. They're disrupting the membrane, trying to see, why haven't I passed this baby? And so they said, well, you know, you can go home and it'll probably start the process on its own, but it'll be very painful. Or if emotionally you'll feel better, we can just do, you know, a DNC. I said, schedule me for a DNC the next day. You know, that's just the kind of person I am. Let's just get it over with, because I don't want to deal with this. It's already so sad.
Right.
You know, I don't want to deal with this. So get home, and everything just starts happening. I'm literally in labor, like literally in labor, hanging over the countertop and just bleeding, bleeding, clots, all the things, in pain, having actual contractions, because my body now, oh, something's wrong, because they have gone and swept my membrane. So I'm just bleeding to the point where it was so much blood that my husband's like, you need to go. And I was like, well,
to the hospital.
Yeah, he drove to the hospital. Yeah, thank you for saying that. And I was like, well, I have an appointment literally in like 3 to 4 hours. So, because at this time they want you there by 6, and at that time
so
it was like,
in the middle of the
yeah, it was in the middle of the night. It was like, oh no, we're taking you now. So I get there, and they asked me, did I want any pain medication? And I was just like, for some reason I always say no, which is probably why they think black women don't have the same pain receptors. But that's another topic. Not for today.
You know what? It's going to be a topic, though.
Yeah, that is. Actually, that's a pretty good one that we should talk about.
Yeah, we should.
Anyway, the doctor came in and told me that I was having uterine contractions, and that she doesn't know why I'm not taking the pain medication. She ordered me to take the pain medication because, and she sat there, she looked in my eyes. She says, I can see if you were having a baby, but you are not. And you need to be comfortable. Because I kept thinking, well, in my mind, I was still holding on to this idea that I should go through this because I'm a woman. This is what women deal with. And she says, it'll be different if you were having a baby. You are not. She said, you should be comfortable through this process. So they gave me some pain medication. I was able to sleep. And then I woke up and literally felt great.
After it was over?
Oh my God. I felt amazing. Almost like, and now I know it was a side effects from the drugs, y'all. Really, because I remember. Yeah, no, because Talia came to visit me, and then she was like, "Are you okay? Are you good?" And I was like, "I feel amazing. Like I feel great." I wasn't even like processing that they just went in and scraped everything, and I mean I was still bleeding, but I wanted my Dr. Pepper. Like I felt amazing.
Sis played board games.
Yeah, I sure
was
did.
competitive too.
And was drinking.
Yeah,
I felt amazing. And then,
baby, that's the meds.
I didn't know that.
Right,
I didn't know that.
Right.
I mean, I had a little bit of cramping, but it was nothing more than my cycle and all of this. And then my husband was like, "Oh, well, you know, Sunk, you're doing well. She's good." And I shouldn't have given him that I guess that picture of me, because he thought I was fine. Right? I thought I was fine.
Yeah.
I truly thought I was fine. Like I was like, okay, whatever. About 2 weeks. 2 weeks go by. No, I won't even say 2 weeks. I'll take that back. A couple of days go by. I actually took off work for a day and went back to work the next day.
Wow. You did think you was okay.
I felt great until the medication ran out, and then the freaking bottom dropped out. Like I was in pain. And I'm a physical therapist, so I'm very physical. You know, I'm very manual oriented. So I work with my hands quite a bit, and then crying every day on my lunch break. The whole, you know, why did this happen to me? I had someone ask me, what did I do to cause this to happen? Because I'm very active and I do pole dancing. They asked me, because of course at that point I was 12 weeks. I'm supposed to be going to my second trimester. So they're saying, what did you do? Or I'll say the better way was, do you feel that you've done anything to cause this? So that's one thing we want to clear up right now. There is nothing that you did, sister, to cause this. Because that baby is so protected and nestled.
Strike the person who tells you that.
Yeah, like honestly, sis, like that baby is so nestled in your uterus. Unless it's a traumatic car accident, there's nothing you did from the outside. Unless it was, you know, something else. You know, we all know the things you shouldn't do while you're pregnant. You know, drinking, smoking, things like that. But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. I get it.
But you know, I started to feel the blame, the guilt, all the things, because everything was fine.
Yeah.
And then it's not.
Right.
And then so like I said, the bottom dropped out. Like I said, this story could be very, very long, but I started counseling because I was like, I don't ever want to do that again. And it wasn't until I was in such a dark place that I was just like, Carmen, you got to get together. You got to go to work tomorrow. Because I was only wanting to get together for work because I don't miss out on coin. And if at any point it's causing me to miss out on coins, I'm like, okay, because I don't ever miss work.
She said,
Yeah.
No.
Because I shouldn't not be at work. This is a silent battle, like we said. People at work knew I was pregnant because I was 3 months, but hey. So anywho, started going to counseling. One of the best things that I've ever done for myself. Definitely validated me. I learned a lot about myself. And
Did you ever go to therapy prior to this?
No.
That was your first experience with therapy?
Right.
Okay.
Because I had never been that low in my life. Like, there's just certain things that are just basic femininity. Getting your cycle. Basic. Even if you want it, it's coming.
If you don't want it.
Oh, sorry. Yes, even if you don't want it, it's coming. So that's just some things that are basic femininity. And having a baby seems to be one of them. At least you think it is.
Right.
Until you can't. Or if you get pregnant and it's not successful. So, because a lot of times, people will be really dismissive. And I know it's coming from a really good place. But they'll say, oh, well, at least you were able to get pregnant. And the doctor literally told me, and I love my doctor, but she was, I'm a realist, so when I say things that my doctor said, it's because that's what's right for me. Not everyone can take some of the things that my doctor say, and we have a really good relationship. But she says, well, we can't really do anything for you because there was no matter of the baby left so as to take it, to test it. So in order for us to test it, you would have to have 3 miscarriages in a row.
To know what's going on.
Okay. Right? So, but I was thinking, okay, well, we'll try again at some point. But I really don't want to be pregnant. So, whatever. But did some counseling. Really, really helped. And, at one point we decided to try again.
So, personal question. You don't have to answer this.
Oh, yeah.
Do you mind sharing the timeline between I started therapy, I'm transitioning to feeling better, to okay, we're ready to start again?
Okay. Had a miscarriage, and it was so sad. It was my grandmother's, the day my grandmother passed too. So it's kind of like all these things. But anyway, it was an anniversary when my grandmother passed. So it was in February, and then started therapy. I want to say, thank you for asking that. I want to say it was around April.
Okay.
Because it was the end of February. It took me about a month to be like, nah, you're not good. You're not good. And, I hated going, but I knew I needed to go.
Right.
I'm so proud of you for going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's awesome that you went. And that you had access to go. Because a lot of people don't have access.
Very true. And it was someone who identified like me, she was in her 30s and kind of on the same walk of life, because I needed someone to be relatable. So that also helped, if that helps anybody else. But did therapy for about a couple of months, and then in June I got pregnant again because I was like, I'll try again.
Wow.
And so
turnaround.
Oh yeah. So in June we tried again. And then that pregnancy only lasted about 10 days.
Okay.
So it was enough to be confirmed pregnant. But that one, I actually started bleeding out at work, y'all. Work. I lost a baby at work. And I'm not going to miss out on no coin.
Oh, she already said that.
But that just shows what's wrong with me. And what motivates me and what drives me. That's one of the things I learned about myself was, I'm so career oriented that it doesn't matter what's going on with me. I would run myself into the grave. So we still working on that part of me.
That needs to be an episode.
Yeah.
We'll touch that.
The whole strong black woman complex. It's that. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
Because the thing is that it's such a silent battle that I don't think many people knew about this second one. Actually, the second miscarriage did not affect me as much because I didn't have my heart in it. Because once I got the positive pregnancy test, I was like, literally said this. Gave it to my husband, said, here we go again.
Wow. Okay.
And then that one ended very shortly. Like I said, 10 days later, bleeding out at work. And then for some reason, just had an inkling. God, had a feeling. And it was my birthday. And I tend to get pregnant when I go on vacation. So, like I said, my problem was never getting pregnant. My problem was sustaining a pregnancy. So, went on vacation and then asked my husband, like, did he want to try again? Or I said I wanted a baby for my birthday.
He was on the beach.
Yeah, I was. I was on the beach.
It's the rum. No, it did not. I'm just saying, I can just see a beautiful ambiance.
Oh, yeah.
Cocktails coming. And your husband there, you're just like, you know.
And you let your guards down. You let your guards down. But I was like, you know, hey, whatever. And got pregnant again. And to the point, and I'm skipping so for time, but to a point where I was like, oh, are we sure that the other baby was completely cleared? Because when I called my doctor and said, hey, because I had a miscarriage, y'all. This was, I lost the other baby in July, like the early July. And then August came around and I was like, hey, my cycle hasn't come back on.
Oh.
And they were like,
real quick.
They were like, are you sure you're not pregnant again? I'm like, my HCG levels were lower. So they say, well, it's almost 0. So let's have you come in and see if you're not pregnant again. Went to that doctor. My HCG levels were like from 0 to like 27,000 or something, which is like a really good sign.
Yes,
Pregnant,
that is confirmed.
Right.
That was
not a little pregnant, but a lot of pregnant. A lot of pregnant.
And so once again, I hit it with the here we go again. And didn't tell anybody about my pregnancy till I was probably 10, 12 weeks. Didn't tell my sister, didn't tell my mom. I was just gonna sit in it. And because I was just waiting on the ball to drop. I was just waiting for it to end, because at this point I wanted testing. Because I was like, okay, I just need to have this third miscarriage. In my mind, this is how bad I was thinking. I was thinking about it very medically. I just want this third miscarriage to happen
So we can test.
so I can get the testing that I need.
Move
And
on to the next one.
Yep. And it never happened.
How old is your child?
My child will be 2 next month.
Oh, Jesus.
And she's actually born, no, actually this month, sorry. She's actually born in April. So my child will be 2 this month.
Wow.
And so, and she was actually due on Good Friday, so I kind of feel like it was a resurrection.
Hey.
Oh, don't get me in here. Wow.
Yeah. I was just like, if it was a boy, it could have been the second coming of Black Jesus. But it was not a boy.
Here she go.
It was not a girl.
And what does her name mean?
Samina means happy and healthy.
Ooh.
Because I wanted to manifest that. So I didn't start naming her until I knew she was a thing. Because I was like, I'm not even attaching with this baby.
Right.
And I don't know if we have time, but when I actually had her, they were concerned I wasn't attaching to her because I was so afraid to lose her. Like, I didn't even look at her. And it's the hormones, y'all. Don't think I'm not a loving mother.
We'll have a birthing episode one day.
Yeah.
That's another story.
I mean, and also just going through the past experiences, right?
Yeah,
and
you've been
just
through a lot.
it's like you have to guard your heart and be real, but then you do want to be hopeful too. So,
And then I just learned, this is my first time knowing the timeline of it. All of those things happen to you within the same year.
Well, it's December 2017 is when I got pregnant the first time.
And then
you
found out you lost like February, March-ish, then June, and then you got pregnant with Samina. That's a lot.
I was over it.
That's a lot. So that's a lot.
So then, like I said, I didn't have Samina until April 2019. And so that's why I spent the 2 years trying to figure out what was going on. And it took so much of my life to the point where I was happy when I had her out of me. Mm-hmm. Because I didn't want to even think about my uterus.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still kind of liking not worrying about what's going on in there.
Yeah.
So like you said, we just don't have x-ray vision. We don't know what's going on. But, you know, hey.
Can I be that person in your uterus?
Yeah.
Do you want more kids?
I don't know. That's the question for debate right now because I am very fearful. I think I will go back into a default and be like, here we go again. Because I have actually said, and I don't know if this is healthy or not, because everybody has their own limits. And, you know, and you can't tell someone, oh, you'll be fine. Once you had one, your body knows what to do. Because that's an emotional trauma for me. And so it's a trigger when people say, oh, you'll be fine, because people were very dismissive for my miscarriages. They'll say, oh, you always lose your first one.
Wow.
And it'll be fine.
Wow.
People be really out here just.
But I think
and I even had to, like, even when you asked her that question, I like the way that you asked it, but I hate the question.
You hate the question.
I hate the question of, are you going to have more?
Right.
Do you want more? When are you going to have more? Like, I was in my hospital bed with my first child when someone asked me, do I want more?
They
Stop
do.
it.
So I just think we've got to not, we got to stop that.
Yeah.
Stop asking people when they're going to have more or if they want children.
Yeah.
Because you have no idea if you are actually talking to someone who just had a miscarriage twice in the past 6 months.
Right.
Stop asking.
Stop.
Because that was the thing.
And it's okay if you don't even want kids. Some couples don't want kids.
Okay. This girl I went to college with, she made a post about this the other day on her page, and she was like, they live out in LA, they're out there living their lives. And she was just like, I actually don't. So don't ask me.
Right.
And I was like, and that's fine, sis. Like, I'm over it.
Yeah.
Stop asking.
Oh, trust me, I'm over it.
Right. So that was a lot. I want to say thank you for sharing.
Yes.
I didn't know that. It makes me want to love you more.
Yeah.
But that's a lot. Let's just
take a nice deep breath on that
and
one.
cleanse.
Yes.
Because I want to know your story, Talia.
Huh?
Because I think what we've heard now is a perspective from a miscarriage.
Yeah.
And another miscarriage.
Yeah.
And then a rainbow baby.
Yes.
And one thing that came up last month, when we were talking about endometriosis, is your battle with infertility.
Yes.
So if you're willing, share with us what that looks like for you and how does that look? Everybody's just cheers to sharing. Cheers to sharing.
Cheers. Yes. Clink, clink, clink. It has taken a lot to be able to talk about it and be open and tell my story. I used to say, I probably was one of those people, well, you got pregnant and you have a happy ending, and I apologize, because that is not the right way to go about it, and to say something like that to somebody. Compared for me, where I have to resort to IVF to have a baby, and then I don't have my happy ending yet, and I don't even know what my happy ending will look like, really. So I am in the midst of it, and so it was just hard to, I felt like, well, how can I encourage other women if I don't even have my happy ending? And these ladies here was like, no, but they have to hear your story because you're not alone. Once again, your journey makes you feel so alone. Like Carmen said, you go into some really dark places, and when you get there, you do have to talk yourself like, no, this is not normal, this is not healthy,
right? I
need to seek help immediately. And I too went to therapy, and it was definitely very beneficial to me to go to therapy. And she had to kind of tell me I had to mourn the loss of my dreams even. I'm thinking like, oh, I have to mourn, you know, a baby and motherhood. But it's like mourning, okay, you know, you had to mourn the loss of your fallopian tubes. You had to mourn the loss that you're not going to have that, oops, like, babe,
We're pregnant.
we're pregnant, like, you know, and hand him a pregnancy test, which down you can still do that even in the IVF world, but it's not like that unexpected oops or so. I had to mourn the loss of, since I had previous surgeries for fibroids and for the endometriosis, so much has been worked on my uterus where they were like, we may not even be able to do a vaginal. You might have to have a C-section when you do. So it was just like so much loss that I was dealing with and having to mourn that I didn't know that. I was just like, well, I just don't have a baby. She's like, whoa, hold on, let's start from the beginning, like all these that you've lost. And just a dream. My brother jokes all the time. I was that kid that had imaginary friends. So I had like all my dolls and I would play house and I had like all these kids. My brother's like, you had so many kids. And just growing up, I thought like I wanted 5 kids when I got married, and you know, I wanted, my grandma's a twin, so I was like, I might have a set of twins. Like I just had this all planned out. And they say,
we plan.
look, and the way to make God laugh now is the plan. So it has definitely been hard. It's put some guilt in my life. I felt guilty, you know, I am a woman, I'm supposed to be able to do these things like you said. Like, you know, it's a woman's body, this is what you're put on earth to do. That's what society makes us think. There's so much more to being a woman than, you know, giving kids. I didn't know that at first. Therapy all works. But I was guilty, girl. I was so, I mean, and I still have my moments of guilt, but I was so guilty because my husband chose me to be his wife and I can't give him a child, or I'm not able to yet, or, you know. And I mean, I'll be real, I sat him down. I was like, bruh, maybe we need to go our separate ways. Maybe you need to go find that young tenderloin that is fertile and can provide you that. And I'm just so thankful and blessed that God gave me a husband that loves me. And he's been by my side through it all. So I'm so thankful. But the devil can really get into your head and make you feel like you're not worthy. You're not worthy to be a wife. You're not worthy to be around friends who are moms. Like, I feel like sometimes I don't fit in because I'm not a mom. I don't know how to relate to y'all sometimes. So it really affected like my self-confidence. But through it all, it's just brought my prayer life up to just, I have a more prayerful life. I am closer to God more than ever. And I'm not trying to get all overly spiritual, but I had to go through all this to even really truly find myself in who is Taya, because I was so focused on motherhood, so focused on being a mom that I'm like, what are my hobbies? Like, people ask, like, what do you like? And I'm like, I don't know, what do I like? What do you like? Maybe I might like it too. But, you know, like, I really truly thought, you know, I said it before, like I was broken and I was like this lost soul in the world. That's why I really like that movie Soul. I don't know if y'all seen it.
I haven't seen it yet.
On Disney Plus?
Yes, girl.
It's been on my list for weeks.
Girl, y'all gotta watch it. Can we just have a movie night and watch Soul?
We
But
can.
anyways, it's just like you just go through all these emotions. Infertility, those who have gone through it, you have all these emotions because you deal with setbacks, you deal with delays, you deal with the unknown, you deal with one failure to another, that it makes you kind of think. You have to like really try to train your mind to think positive and be hopeful, but it's so easy to just go back to thinking negative, like, oh, this may not work, oh, I'm going to the doctor today. Like, I would have anxiety, like, what is the doctor gonna tell me today? What's wrong with me today? And so it's just been a journey. So for me, it was hard to speak of that because I'm still have my moments of embarrassment or feeling ashamed. And like I said, just y'all have really been my support, and that's what's so important in infertility, is finding your support system. Finding the family, the friends that you can really talk to and that can encourage you, that can pray with y'all, you know. And y'all give me the real stuff. Like, I hear about even y'all struggles, and I feel like, oh, once you have kids, everything is just great.
Pause. Pause.
Call us back. Call us back.
Like y'all are living life, and then but you guys give me and share those moments. I'm just like and I just appreciate it. I truly appreciate y'all so very much, because we don't even always have to talk about like infertility or what's going on with me. I appreciate you guys asking, how am I doing?
Yeah.
And even the hard questions. Yeah, sis, where's your mindset at? How are you doing today? Like, I appreciate that, because it's you never know. If I'm sure someone on the outside, like, how do I handle this? What can I say around her?
That's exactly what I was gonna say, because you handle it with so much grace, Talia. You have no idea.
Yes.
You handle it with so much grace, and I always wonder, and I can be transparent and tell you, I always wonder, what can't I complain about? My child may drive me nuts, but who am I to complain about my child, to Talia, who's dealing with this? You know what I'm saying? So, but you've always been so, you just handle it with so much grace, and just so much like, oh no, tell me what you did. Like you're always there. And so you hit it on the nose, because oftentimes it's like, well, what can I say or what can I not say? If I were to get pregnant, it's like, dang, how do I even give that, share that information to you, or as our husbands are friends.
Yes.
So, from a couple perspective, like, how are you guys dealing as a couple?
Right.
It's like, what can my husband say or not say?
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's I always wonder.
Yeah. Well, because I have to say something. You hit something, and it just brought that to my attention when you said about couples and the men. And a lot of society will put it on like the women, like, oh, we got to protect the women. And my husband had to sit down and bring it to me, like, hey, anytime our friends are pregnant and have to announce it, they tell me so I can tell you, but they never think about, well, how do I feel? Like, I'm dealing with it too. We're dealing with this together.
Right.
And I was like, oh, so I almost had to be like, I have to check on my husband more, because it's like, oh, it's my fault. It's me. I'm the guilty one. And so everyone thinks, and they ask how I'm doing.
But he's dealing too.
And he's dealing with it too. And we've gone to counseling together and separate. We're doing, just to kind of help. It is. And I just didn't think, because we have this idea, men are so strong and, they don't cry, they don't do this. But, we've had to share some tears together and deal with the setbacks and delays. So, you're right, though. I always have to wonder, like, I'm sure they don't know what to say to me, or how do they feel if they have to announce they're pregnant again. But I'm like, we're all in our 30s. We're married or wanting kids, so it's expected. I've had to definitely pray to, like, he was like, oh, my great, no, I can't even take any credit for how I'm at or where I'm at right now, because
God got you here.
Girl, if you would have told me I would have been diagnosed with infertility in 2015 and I would still be here smiling and laughing,
none but Jesus.
I would have never.
But let me just share with y'all a little bit of when I say that she carries it with so much grace. And this almost gets me emotional when I think about it. Is I had a baby shower. And the morning of my baby shower, Talia went to my baby shower with my sister and helped set up my baby shower for hours before I even arrived. And me knowing everything that Talia is going through, and that she did that, I'll never forget that.
It's the selflessness.
It's the selflessness for me.
It's the selflessness.
Like, I'll never forget that. And so that's when I say that you carry it with so much grace, and that just that your story is just not over. And I can't wait to see what the Lord is going to do. The other day I was cleaning out a closet, and I found a little card of notes, a list of things that I said I wanted back from 2017. It was like an old card I found.
Yeah.
And all of these things, all these random things were on the card, and everything on that card I have. And it just was a perspective of everything that you want in this season.
Yes.
God knows exactly what you need to have and when you need to have it.
Right.
And so I feel like maybe that would be a good reminder for people who are dealing with infertility, that our timing is just so different from God's timing.
Yes.
Sure is. Oh my God.
And even when you were talking about dealing with delays, but it's really only a delay in our heads because we have this schedule of what it's supposed to be.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, like-
absolutely. Because I was like, oh, I'm gonna have all my kids by the time I turn 30. That's what my mom did. So I was like, oh, that's perfect. I'm gonna have all my kids by the time I turn 30. So when my 30th birthday came around, I was like, oh man, like I haven't even achieved that. Like it was hard, trying to, but we can't plan it. God's timing is perfect. Sometimes it's easier for me to say that. Sometimes, I'm just like, now Lord, let's talk about this. And I'm in my 30s, but it's hitting, and then of course society and the medical field is like, oh, 35, and then after that you're
Well, they call it geriatric
pregnancy.
Who made up that?
Girl, so I'm like, I've been having to talk like, Lord, now
Please cancel that title.
But yes, so it is. And like I said, I don't know what motherhood will look like, and there's so many options. I'm grateful for the world we live in today, with technology. So there is like a gestational carrier or a surrogate, so someone else can carry our baby. It'll be our DNA. That's something what Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade did, there's foster care, there's adoption, and it just, the Lord might be using us for someone. I don't know. I'm at the point though now where I'm open to it. I would say before it was like, nope, it has to be like this, this, and this. But in the infertility world, you learn that you are not in control.
You are not.
See, wow.
Yeah.
You brought up just so many different aspects of it. But there's so many aspects to the topic.
Right.
Yes.
Whether you're dealing with miscarriage or whether you're dealing with infertility and not being able to get pregnant at all. Like, it's just so much to think about. And it's just a reminder to be kind to people.
Right.
Because you just don't know what people are going through or what people are dealing with. Be kind to people.
Yeah.
Give it the benefit of the doubt because you just have no idea
Yes.
what people deal with.
It's so true. And just to the moms who are in waiting, I'm with you, and just know that you are worthy and you are loved. And that we are all going to get through this together, and it's strengthening us, and we have the support. Definitely find your support. Stay prayed up. Meditate. Think of positive stuff. Find hobbies. I'm about to take golf lessons.
Hey.
Stop! I am. I know.
Let me know what day though. I could really call.
I have to admit, look, this one here did more. They both do. Like Carmen is like a pole, like finesse. She is just amazing on pole.
She is.
I tried it. I didn't look like her, so I was like, forget it. Pole ain't my calling.
It ain't for everybody.
Stephanie here is doing tennis, so I'm like, well, hold on, y'all not gonna leave me.
Like, what's my hobby?
So I just had a patient, and he is providing lessons. So
Oh,
I'm like,
nice.
hey,
That's nice.
can I take a few lessons and see?
Child, we active on the Venus Files.
Look,
Yes.
I'm trying to be. I'm
Look.
just
active.
We're in our 30s.
Yes.
Yeah, get that heart rate up.
Girl. So yeah, instead of having that tunnel vision, there is blessings
that's
around
good.
you. So I'm just focusing on that and enjoying the journey. Like I said, I have a smile on today. Who knows what tonight may bring? I might be in my closet crying or not. But in the midst of it all, God has continued to see me through it. He is by my side and has strengthened me. So I am definitely blessed, and I can't wait too. I don't know what the end will be.
This is so
what
exciting,
the
y'all.
result is. So yeah.
That alone is why y'all gonna have to just stay in touch with us.
Right.
And keep y'all updated as to what the heck happens.
Yes.
But this was good.
It was
This
really
was good.
good.
Thank y'all so much for your transparency. Thank you for telling that story.
Yes.
You have no idea the effect that it's going to have on somebody else.
Yeah, thank
And
you, Carmen.
this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
It really is. So thank you all for spending time with us
Yes.
in April for infertility awareness. I think that this was an amazing topic to have. The discussion needs to go on. So if you have a story or if you want to tell us anything that you may know, let us know. We want to hear from you guys.
Please. Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
So go be great. Bye,
Yes.
y'all.
Bye.